Hi guys, this is Abdurrahman Gilal, and in this video, I'll explain you a little more about forms and how to, interact with forms using PHP. I have developed a basic fundamental page of, form that is basic form example, and my page name is index.html. Even if I do not write anything, it will be by default the first page that server will send. So you should know that whenever you, as a client using a browser trying to email to the server, then the server will first page that it sends, let's say you write the server IP, let's say IP or localhost or anything that you wrote. So server will send you the first page that is the index page. So sorry about this typing. So index HTML or PHP, anything that you write, that will be right on your screen. So my server has already responded it to me. But server using HTTPS protocol, that is stateless protocol. I'll explain you what is stateless protocol. That means it forgets when it reaches to the destination, it forgets what I'm gonna do. So now when it is done, so it forgets what to do. So I'm gonna explain you that now. Let's say if you got this form, so how it looks like this that in the page that I have made. So you're gonna see like I always give action where exactly it goes again. So you have to make sure that you keep eye on every kind of single value that has been sent by the server or you have made by yourself. So you're going to use some super global variable. Later on we will learn about cookies and sessions, so they're going to help you a lot. But right at the moment we do not have anything sent by the server except this form. So I'm now filling this form. So when I'm filling this form, what method I'm using post, and I've got some email, I've got some password, gender, and I'm using radio in the gender, so make sure that the name of both value, sorry, both type is same. If not, then you're gonna have a problem that you're gonna select both of them. For example, here, if I select male or female, it's gonna be selecting only one. So you can keep ID, which is male or female. That's perfectly fine because you have to keep an ID which is not similar, but you can keep the name similar, right? So, and then you can, ask users if they want to subscribe the laters, or then you have a checkbox, which means yes or no. So usually the checkbox is yes means set, no means no value, because we only can pass one value. We can understand that how can we make it better. So, and using PHP, I'm sorry. So we're gonna submit the form, and when the form is submit, where it will go to process.php. So once it reaches to process.php, the first thing that we have to do is to receive the value. So let's say if I am receiving the email first, so let me receive the email first. So I am using $_request. So as I told you in my last video that if you are using post method, you should supposed to use post here. But if you do not, if you're using get method, you should supposed to use get right here, right, in the global variable. But if you are wanting anything to come, so you can use this one. That's perfectly fine. The request will help you to receive both, like get and post requests. So you save it and you run it. Let's say I've passed some values. I have made these two fields required, so if I do not put any value, it's gonna send the error. Oh, sorry, it's not gonna let me go. So now I submit, so it goes here and it does not receive because I did not put anything here. So now you save it and run it, and yes, so you see we received the email properly. What if the email address was wrong? For example, I did not put the underscore, sorry, at the rates, character. So the form will submit. Usually the best practice is you should use some JavaScripting here to control the validation problem. For instance, that you validate email here at the client level. Do not just let it submit to the server. But what if the server receives it? So the server should validate the email or not. That's the perfect thing, right? So we have two ways by which we can validate the email. One way is that we're going to use a method called let's say filter underscore var, and in that method you're gonna put the variable and then what kind of constants are you gonna using. Let's say I'm gonna say filter underscore validate underscore email. So it says that if the email was validated, which means if the email was correct, so what you're gonna do, you're gonna, let's say, print a message, your email is correct, let's say. Just a thing. Otherwise, what you're gonna do is here. Not you. Okay, okay. What you're gonna do is that your email is incorrect. This is not my purpose for this program, but just gonna explain you that how you can validate. So when you run that, so you see your email is incorrect. Why it's incorrect? Because we do not have at the rate. So let's say if I change my email and I submit it back, your email is correct here. So this is how you can manipulate your, your data that you receive there. So it's not manipulation basically, actually this is validation and sanitization. That means you wanted to make sure that the server receives everything perfectly fine. The best practice is to validate here, but because we just have begun the course, so I wanted to make sure that you know the server should also take care of these type of things. So this is a simple method that a function called filter var. And similarly, we got another one that is called let me quickly grab it here. This is similar. That is called, let's see, I'm just gonna echo for you. So you can see that what is the difference, that if you see that we say filter underscore input. So filter underscore input does the same, but only a difference between filter underscore var and input. The input is more like if the data is coming from global variables. So what I mean is that if you're using post or get method, for instance, then this method is the perfect method for you to use, or this function is perfect for you to use. So let's say what you're gonna do. First thing is that you have to tell like what type of method is basically coming. So you should say that I am receiving through post method, right? And then what is the field name that you are receiving? So you said I'm gonna receive it from email, right? And so what type of validation you wanted to apply, or what type of sanitization that you want to apply? Let's say you said I wanted to apply this filter email. So I'm not using it in the if statement. If I would have used an if statement, it's gonna be exactly the same. So let me just like grab it here. Okay, got it paste. So this is for, let's say, for uh, uh filter underscore var, and this one is for now here for you know filter underscore input, just for our understanding that we wanted to see like it if it works fine or not. So this one was for filter var. Let me change it. So we're gonna see the difference between the outputs, if there is a difference, let's say. So now we have two methods. One is filter var and one fill in input. Both of them are doing almost the same. One is receiving the value from request method, so request variable, and then it's just manipulating or validating the email. Other one is directly receiving. You can have saved into variable, or you can also use the same variable, but just in case that we wanted to just run and see. So let's run it. Okay, something is not good, which means that we have missed something here. So let's see. Well, okay, this is a problem that we did not start it. Okay, so let's submit. Okay, you see, filter var is your email address is correct, and the filter input also say it's correct. Let's make it wrong and then submit it. So incorrect and incorrect. So I hope it makes some sense. So it's just a thing that you should know that how you can manipulate more. So if you wanted to understand more about, these two methods or two functions, you're gonna go and get it from online. There are different types of constants you can use, like validate email, validate URL, validate integer, validate string, and you can do more with this. So this is just some of those which I could discuss with you. I will post this file there in my link below, so you can download it and you can use it, or you're gonna just find it out online and you're gonna really enjoy using them. So let's do a bit more with this. Let's say I'm not worried about the email validation, so let's do it more. So I know that I've got this password. I've got this, so I'm gonna go with the password. So and I'm gonna go with the gender, basically. No gender. I want to go with this checkbox, which is called subscribe. So why am I going on subscribe? Because I'm gonna tell you that how it is gonna be if I'm gonna show you the subscribe. So if you're gonna go and see the subscribe, it's gonna show you one thing. Okay, give me a second. Yep, you save it. Well, I'm just printing out this subscribe. So let's see. So my email address is correct or incorrect, doesn't matter. This one, subscribe, and I say it says yes. What if I do not say yes? Then it does not show me anything, which means that I do not have saved this checkbox from client. So in this type of situation, you're a bit in the position that then you cannot make much. So what I usually do is that I use this is set method. In the is-it method, I'm just gonna say like if this one is happening, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pass yes. If it's not, then you're gonna say no. So with this way, you are basically giving two values to one field. So right here, you only can pass yes. You cannot pass no. But with this way, with is set method, you can make it no as well. So let's save it and run it. You see, we got no. So we did not select here. So we're gonna say yes, that's perfectly fine. We're gonna say no. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So now this looks amazingly fine for me. So let's go and receive. Sometimes we have this age kind of things that we don't want our users to be with, young age. So let's say if I am gonna say like I'm gonna work on age. So let's say if I have age and I'm gonna say daughter age has to be greater than or equals to 18. If that's the case, then you say welcome. If it's not, then you should say sorry, you can't. So sorry, you can't. So like echo, sorry, you cannot use this web service or the website or anything that you wanted to say. So let me go back here and then pass the value, which is 12 and submit. Say sorry, you cannot use the service. This looks okay. But sometimes it's not the problem, sometimes not the case. We sometimes directly forward the user, if the user is basically, not with that age, we send it to another page. So I'm using here, I'm using header. Header means that I'm gonna send the direction of the traffic from here to somewhere else. So I'm gonna say a welcome patch. Let's say welcome.php. So this is gonna be my page that I'm gonna make. And if not, then what you're going to do. So your best practice is that you can exit also. It's both things you should keep. And then here you should also keep like here you say like sorry.php or something that you wanted to make. I'm just gonna make both of them. So let's run it. So you're gonna see here. Let me run. So okay, give me a second. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry guys. I supposed to write location, with colon. Otherwise, it's not gonna understand where to go. So location was missing. This was my bad. So you're gonna say location, save it, and run it. So you see, sorry was not developed. So what you're gonna do is that copy this page, make a page here. You say sorry, and then sorry.php. That's okay. And then what else you have to make? You have to make welcome.php. So let me just make both pages here. And I put welcome.php. Sorry about this. So now if I go back here and I submit, so it's sorry.php. And if I make it 19 and I submit, so it's welcome.php. I hope it makes some sense that if you have received the values from a client, based on the values, you can do a lot. You can use validation, you can use redirection, you can use like is-set methods, you can still save into the database. That's what we learned throughout the course. So I hope it was useful. Please do let me know if you got any problem or confusion that you want to ask from me. Thank you so much, guys.